Hello and welcome back to another episode of Black Folks Doing Extraordinary Things. My name is Adrielle. I am joined here today with Michelle Reese, Navy Chief Michelle Reese. Let me get it right. And as you know, Black Folks Doing Extraordinary Things is a series that I started. Perhaps this is your first time seeing one of these videos, but it's a series that I started with two goals. The first goal is really to expose people, especially Black people, Black youth, and anyone perhaps considering a career transition to all the vast career opportunities that exist in our world. So that was the number one goal. And second is to simply just highlight some of the incredible things that Black people are doing from all walks of life, because we are not a monolith. And I want to make sure that that information is out there for everyone to gain exposure to. So again, today I'm here with Navy Chief Michelle Reese, and I'm super, super excited. Welcome. Thank you again for joining me today.
Hi.
Awesome. So I won't say too much, but I'm going to go ahead and pass it over to you. And I would love to hear from you, your age, if you're comfortable sharing with the folks, where you're based and what it is that you do.
Oh, hi, everyone. First of all, thank you for having me. I am honored to be a part of this, Black Folks Doing Extraordinary Things. It truly is an honor. So I'm excited. I love what you're doing here. So my name is Michelle Reese. I am a Navy Chief. I'm in the Navy. I am 33 years old. Yeah, where I'm based. I'm in Point Mugu, California.
Awesome. And is that where you're originally from?
I'm from New York. I'm from Amityville, New York.
Okay.
So Amityville, Massapequa, Queens, Roosevelt.
Nice.
Salute.
My neighbors. I'm in Brooklyn. So I just say my neighbors. I love it. Awesome. So as a Navy Chief, what is it exactly that you do? I know a little bit about your background. I know that you work within command and control, but tell us, what does that even mean? And sort of what does day-to-day look like for you?
So there's so many levels to it. So in the Navy, we call our jobs our ratings. So my rating is AZ, which is Aviation Administration. So that's kind of where we start. And then over the course of my 13 years, I have advanced to chief, to the E7 pay grade. And then, so AZs, we do aviation administration. So it's a lot of back-end business administration stuff. So we do a lot of the admin paperwork to support aircraft maintenance and operations. That's big picture. If you want to get more into the specifics.
Yeah, like if you were just telling somebody about what you did, even today, or just a typical day, if there even is. I know for me, I don't really have typical days, but sometimes things are sort of routine. So kind of walk us through what a day might look like in that role.
Well, I love my job so much. Well, okay, so first, where do I work? So I currently work at the Command and Control and Logistics Wing. It is the only one in the Navy. We are based in Point Mugu, California, which is about an hour outside of LA. Here at the wing where I work, we manage all of the aeronautical maintenance programs within our type model community. So like Northrop Grumman's Hawkeye aircraft or Boeing Stingray aircraft that that of course the Navy owns. So those are just some of the platforms that we support. So that's the big picture. Me personally, so I'm a program manager or wing program advisor. You know, the Navy has a little different term for it. But basically, I'm a program manager at the wing level. So it's like the district level. So I control I manage 13 commands.
Okay.
And they each have 5 programs each. So it's a total of 60 plus 65 programs. And that's just the big picture. So what does the day-to-day look like? So it's aircraft. So aircraft maintenance, getting parts, developing maintenance procedures, facilitating aircraft location and custody changes, things like that. So that's the gist of the job.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds, well, obviously super important, but it sounds like there are a lot of moving parts involved. And I would assume your day-to-day doesn't really have a lot of downtime.
It doesn't, but it's so much fun.
Yeah.
Like I love my job so much. I love the people and just, I don't know. And you know, what's so crazy is like, I never thought I would be in the military.
Yeah.
And God is just so good. And the job found me, like the perfect job found me, you know, like.
Yeah, that was going to be my next question, because I mean, I can tell that you genuinely love what you do and you're passionate about it. Like it radiates from you, which is amazing. And I want more people to see that, like you can find things in your life that you're that passionate about and that you enjoy.
Yeah.
So how did this job find you? How did you get here?
Like how did I get in the military or to
Yeah,
chief?
like you said that you never thought you would be in the military. So how did you end up there? Did you have other sort of dreams or aspirations and someone just kind of like waved a flag and was like, "Hey, we got this job for you." How did we get where you are today?
Girl, low key, I think that's how I ended up finding your YouTube channel
Yeah.
because like you and like so many girls like you like are my dream. Like I wanted to,
Aw.
I'm serious, like working corporate. I think you have your own like your own agency now,
Yes, yes.
which is even more of a dream. I'm so proud of you, dude. But I'll
Thank
get to
you.
that later.
Aw.
Um, my dream was I wanted to go to an HBCU. Okay,
Same.
yes, I wanted to major in business. I wanted to join a sorority and just work in corporate in Manhattan, you know.
The
Um,
dream.
that was my dream. I was
Yeah.
13, 12, 11 years old,
Mhm.
but at the end of my freshman year in high school, my mother was killed in a car accident.
Ooh.
And I was 14 years old. And
Yeah.
so by the grace of God, I even made it through high school, honestly. I thank God every day for my cousin Kia. Because of her, I just had enough stability to even make it through high school. You know what I mean? So I really thank God for her daily. I thank God for my family and my sisters, my grandmother, my brothers. But I say all that to say, I couldn't afford student loans. I had no backup plans, no co-signer. You know what I mean? My cousin Kia, she was 23 years old and I was 15 when I ended up living with her. So
She
can
was a
you
baby
imagine?
herself. She was a baby herself. I couldn't imagine.
Dude, okay, so when I
Oh,
finally hit 23 years old,
yeah.
I look back like, Kia, I can't believe
You were doing all of this. All of this.
I don't know. I'm telling you, when I tell you,
Whew.
I thank God for her daily. I don't
Truly.
know. So, but anyway, so that's a huge reason how I got here. Like I couldn't afford student loans. I couldn't go to an HBCU. I remember, so I wanted to go to Dell State, and Kia drove me off to campus. And when I realized how much it was and the student loans and when it hit me, I'll never forget that day when it hit me like, this is not my reality. I was probably 18, if not 17 around that time. And over the course of the next 2 years, I was just hustling, just trying to make it. I used to work at Express, the clothing store in the
Oh,
mall.
yeah.
Yeah, and reservists used to come in uniform. And I remember just asking a lot of questions. They used to be so beautiful in the dress white. And I remember the Navy recruiter was so cool. Like he was so laid back. And
Yeah.
so I just remember being attracted to that vibe, like, okay. And so the rest is really history. 12 months later, so I signed, it was 2008 in April. And 12 months later, April 2009, I was on a flight to my first duty station, which was Yokosuka, Japan.
Wow.
I was, yes,
What a
ma'am.
place for your first, like, oh my goodness.
Do you
Wow.
know crazy too? I didn't realize this is how naive I was.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize that I was leaving the country. And I feel so stupid to say it now. I'm 33 now, but I'm gonna still keep it 100 with you guys.
Hey.
I signed up to go to Japan because I was top of my class in school. So you can kind of
Yeah.
select. So I selected Japan. I'm like, oh yeah, I'm gonna go to Japan, from New York to Japan. Oh my God, I swore I was cute. So when I'm on the flight and the flight is like landing and I'm from New York. I'm used to seeing buildings.
Right, right.
And you land in Japan and it's nothing but hills and those old like Karate Kid houses.
Oh my
Um,
goodness.
it hit me. I was like, oh my God, like I'm in Asia.
Mm-hmm.
I did that at 20 with a bunch of other 20-year-olds from
Mm,
Dallas, from Memphis, from Georgia,
right.
all of us in Japan. When I tell you we thought we were celebrities,
Oh, I
okay.
know. You probably were for sure at that time.
We thought I got to show you the pictures. We thought we
Oh,
were celebrities, but so I got to Japan. I just got, I started hustling. Advanced very quickly. Got qualified in everything the Navy wanted me to get qualified in, and I advanced to E7 in 12 years.
and
Yeah,
how,
and
just to give us kind of like a range or spectrum of the levels, where does E7 fall within the spectrum?
it's a time scale. E3 to E4 is a particular amount of time of a year. So the thing is, you don't exactly get advanced immediately at that year. You just become qualified to advance. You still have to take an advancement exam and, get selected. So there's some bureaucracy within it, but
yeah. But it sounds like you've made some moves because like you're only 33. So it sounds like you've made some moves, and it sounds like you're continuing to do that, which is amazing.
Yeah,
That's such a great story.
I've had fun, girl. When I tell you I feel blessed, like I've
truly
had so much fun.
Yeah. So what happened after Japan? Like, where did you kind of go from there up into where you are now?
So I spent 3 years in Japan on the USS George Washington, the aircraft carrier.
Yep.
Then I went to Jacksonville, Florida. So
I transitioned.
It's my first time living in the South. The first Christmas that you have, and it's 60 degrees, and you can drive with your sunroof open.
It's different.
Look, I didn't know. I'm telling you, I was so naive. And then my first time to Miami, girl.
You lived your best.
I am not going back to New York. Hey, y'all. So I went to Jacksonville, Florida, VP-30, a VP squadron. So there we had Boeing's P-8 aircraft and the P-3 aircraft.
What's the P-3?
I don't know. It's a big aircraft with props.
Okay.
And then after Jacksonville, I went back to Japan, actually. I just went to a different side. So I went to Atsugi, Japan. The beauty of Atsugi, Japan and Yokosuka, Japan is they're both only an hour away from Tokyo. And then with me being from Amityville, which was about an hour away from Manhattan, like I'm telling you, like God just pieced my life together.
Yeah.
And then after that, I came here to California in 2017, and I've been out here ever since.
Okay. And do you expect or anticipate that you'll be there for a while, or do you think you'll be moving around again?
That's kind of the beauty of the military too, is that every 3 years, you could move around.
Okay.
So this September, I start looking to see what options are open to move around. So we'll see.
All right. Awesome. Awesome. So it's clear to me, obviously, that you love your work, and I would just love for you to share a bit more about the aspects that you enjoy. What are some of, if you had to pick 2 or 3 things that are like the things you enjoy most about your work?
Things I love, number one, would be the community, the people from all walks of life. Each tour, each command has a personality, whether it's Japan or Florida. So definitely the community. And then something else I love, our purpose, especially watching what's going on with Ukraine. Right now, and just to see them all galvanize and come together, defend their country the way they are, to know that I'm a part of one of the greatest militaries in the world as well, to know that I can support them. And in ways, I am supporting them. That's another part that I like as well, because, we play such a major part, but we don't always see the immediate stress of it, I guess you can say. But I know that we play such a huge part.
And if you had to kind of identify or call out a couple of things, or even just one thing that you dislike about your work, what would that be?
Well, I didn't mention that. Well, I'm sure it was clear that I love the travel, but if there were to be something that I disliked, it's definitely the deployments. With the deployments comes that travel. I've been to Hong Kong, I've been to Australia, I've been to Singapore for work. However, that was also 6 or 7 months out of the year in which you kind of feel like you're missing out on the lives of your family.
Right.
So that would be the thing I disliked.
That's tough. How do you think your identity as a Black woman impacts your work specifically, or just being in the military?
I love this question, though. I swear, every time I watch your channel and I watch these episodes, I love people's responses. So I always think about it.
Yeah.
It kind of maybe paints a picture for you about my environment. The military didn't allow Black women to wear locked hairstyles until 2018.
Wow.
And I remember, because I made first E6, so I made first class in 2015.
Okay.
So the reason I play out this timeline is because it actually just recently hit me
Mm-hmm.
what kind of happened in my life. So I really kind of want to paint that. So 2015, I made first class. So first class is a middle management position.
Okay.
It's so high level. Like you have so much responsibility, like being in that middle management from top, you have expectations. You got to take care of sailors, the people that work for you, and the different, like the military compared to civilian is, we are in the military 24 hours a day,
Right.
7 days a week. Like, our sailors are extensions of our family. So whether they're having, drinking issues or if there's a sexual assault, we as the managers handle that. You know what I mean? So I say all that to say that first class job, any sailor, Navy person listening, like I know they're going to feel me on that. Like that first class job is a lot of work, right? So I say that to say, I spent from 2015, I made chief in 2020. It took me 5 years. So for that 5 years, I was in a first class position. My head was down. I was focused. When I looked up in 2020, mind you, it's been 2 years of women, the dreads get, mature after 2 years.
Right.
So I look up and I'm in the berthing and I see on the boat where we live, that's our berthing.
Yeah.
So it's 2020. I look up, and I see, women with the two, I don't know how to say it, barrel rolls, I think. And they're just so beautiful. These mature locks, these women just look so beautiful. And I just looked up like, oh yeah, that did happen 2 years ago. That's how stuck in the books I was.
Right.
So if my identity impacts my work, it's that like when I'm in the room, I represent. You know what I mean? I take my role as a role model super seriously. You know what I mean? Like, because I see just the Navy is catching up, but there's still some catching up to be done.
Right.
There've been so many occasions in which I've been the only woman in the room, the only Black woman in the room. So I take those moments super seriously. You know what I mean?
Definitely. Does that ever feel like a weight for you to feel like you're carrying that? I always think of it as like sort of being like the representative, right? In a way, or the spokesperson for a group of people.
I've heard people say like, that's not my responsibility. I've heard that before and I don't knock them because maybe it's not, but I rise to it. I'm passionate about it because I'm in the room.
Right.
If it is a weight, I'm carrying it and I don't notice. Like I'm just carrying it as if it's just another piece of me. I'm passionate about it. It means a lot to me because of where I come from. I was naive. Because of where I come from, I'm just extremely passionate about being that voice in the room because I'm here now.
Have you encountered any instances where you felt like being a Black woman has presented a barrier or challenge for you within your work or promotion or whatever it may be?
If so, I never explicitly disrespectfully. If there were to be a barrier, it would be in my delivery or the way I speak. Because I told you when I moved to Jacksonville, that was my first time living in the South.
Right.
And let me paint the picture some more. I moved there in 2012. Barack Obama is riding for re-election. So this was the first time, mind you, I'm from New York. I went to school with El Salvadorians, Puerto Ricans. Like I hate the whole I don't see color thing, but we all flavors, like so I never cared. But when I moved to Florida in 2012, when Barack Obama was trying to get reelected, and that's when I learned the importance of being educated and the importance of being able to articulate your position. Don't let anyone tell your story for you.
Yeah.
So you asked me if I ever noticed any actual barriers. When I was that age, 2012, I think I was 23, 24 at that time, I felt like people were trying to tell me who I was, who my president was. And I didn't like that I didn't know what to say. I would say that's the time when I was like, okay, I'm going to be educated. I'm watching the news. I want to understand what's going on. And I didn't need to watch the news or pay attention to current events for them to give me ideas. I wanted to pay attention so that when I spoke my ideas, I could speak it smartly.
So if somebody were interested in doing the work that you're doing, becoming a chief, what are some actual tangible steps or actions that you would recommend they take?
I don't know if you've ever seen this, but right now the Navy is offering people, civilians, $25,000
I did not see this. Okay.
enlist. Yes, the
Okay.
Navy is offering people $25,000 to enlist.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know what the catch is, but the advice that I would give would be, if you are one of those civilians that are trying to become sailors, choose your job with caution. Choose your Navy rating with caution. Because the reason that I am beaming and smiling right now is because I asked the right questions. I kind of had an idea of who I was. Like, I know I can't fix an engine.
Right.
Like, so that would be my advice is, first look into that $25,000 bonus, see what that's about.
Mm-hmm.
And then make sure you choose your rate with caution. We always say your rate is your fate. And then if you were to actually join, can I do a caveat to that too?
Yeah, of course.
Don't join the military for the money.
Mm.
Like, yeah, they may give you 25,000 now, but then you're going to come work for a chief like me and I'm gonna put you to work. So, you know what I'm saying? So
you can tell she don't play. So
look, it's working. No, I'm just kidding, you guys. Don't be scared. But I want you to know, don't join the military for the money, because it is a selfless institution. Don't forget that you are joining the military, right? So you have to join knowing that you're entering an organization that has a mission that's bigger than you. You know what I mean? And plus, overtime is authorized and there is no financial incentive for it. So
got it.
Out there. So
okay. That's helpful. I don't know if you can answer this, but you say to sort of ask the right questions. What are some of the right questions you would advise somebody to be asking as they explore?
That's a great question.
I try.
First, I'll say what I think my questions were, favorite big ones were, and then I'll tell you, based over the course of the last 13 years, all the people I've seen. So for me, like I said, I knew that I couldn't fix an engine. There are some things I can do and can't do. I'm very organized. There's neither here nor there. So I knew to say, hey, what are the administrative jobs and things like that? I knew to inquire about the benefits that were important to me. I knew to inquire about locations and things like that. And yeah, so I think the most important question for me was just, what are the jobs like? What is the day-to-day like? And I think that's another part of why I love this series so much too, just to learn, because it educates and really shines a light on things you wouldn't see.
Absolutely.
So over the course of the past 13 years, I've worked with a lot of people, and a lot of people have worked for me. You just have to really look yourself in the mirror and ask yourself, is this what I want? Ask yourself, actually, let me start there. That would be the right question, is what do I want? Right? You have to talk to yourself first before you talk to others. So what do you want? Right? Be clear about what you want and then go searching and see if we can help you. Again, because the Navy is a structured institution, it's a disciplined institution, and we have a big purpose. And it's not about you. I don't care about, I'm gonna keep it 100. I don't care about the small things. Like, we got to go on deployment. We got to go out here in the South China Sea. We got work to do. You know what I'm saying? And so and that piece that I'm telling you right there is the part where we got to buckle down and come out here and make happen. But I do care about you, right? I do care about people. I do care about my sailors and their families. And when we come back and once we get done with this mission, look, take time, take time for your kids and stuff like that. Like, it's such a dichotomy. Like, my whole life is a dichotomy. Like, I want sailors and I want everyone to know that I love you, but we have to do something that's bigger than us. I hope that we can chop that up to not sound so bad, but no,
it's true.
It's dichotomy, the dichotomy here is just really hard because we are on deployments on the sea for 7 months away from, there are women who are having kids that are on deployment, who are they had a kid. And now after a year of maternity leave, now they have to go on deployments. But you have a 1-year-old, 2-year-old, 3-year-old at home. That is difficult.
Yeah.
So difficult. And I just love them so much because that is difficult. And it is for those women that have to do that, or the men who can't see their children being born
Right.
It is for those people that you join the Navy so that you can come pick up some of this load so that maybe they can go home to see their child be born, or you know what I mean? Like it's so many levels to this job.
Yeah. I think the root of what I'm hearing you say, though, is to really just take the time to reflect on you and what it is that you want and what it is you're looking to contribute through your work, and to decide based on my current situation and all the factors within my life, is this the right fit? Because it sounds like there is some compromise there, right? Like going off on a deployment for several months where you might not see family or friends, or it sounds like even touch earth for a while. Like and so, those are real things that people need to take into consideration, and know that this isn't like, a job that you're just going to walk into and then, oh, I don't like it today, all right, I'm gone. It's not that type of party. So
And with COVID,
yeah.
COVID was the worst time to be sea
Oh,
duty.
I bet that was rough.
We were stuck, like literally sequestered. Oh,
Whew.
girl.
For how long?
I was in Fallon. We were in workups to go on deployment. Fallon, Nevada, which are workups. We go out there, the entire carrier air wing comes together to practice flights, practice combat. We were out there for a month, and this is in March of 2020.
Okay.
So March 11th of 2020, this March, everyone will know where they were. March 11th, the WHO declares it a pandemic.
Right.
And then 3 or 4 days later, we were stuck on base. We were not allowed to leave base. And that's when it started.
Okay. Oh my goodness.
We were stuck on base. We made it back. We were supposed to be there for a month. We were about a week in. We got sequestered to base. So we spent the last few weeks on base. Then we went back to our home bases. We were allowed to go to our apartments for about a week. Okay. Until then, we got sequestered onto our home bases again, because we are in workups to go on deployment. So going on deployment means going onto an aircraft carrier. If you don't know about it, look up the USS Theodore Roosevelt during COVID. Shout out to Captain Crozier for doing the right thing. The commanding officer of that aircraft carrier wrote a letter to the Navy talking about his sailors. So look that up. I'm not going to delve onto that too much.
I'll add a link.
We're going onto an aircraft carrier with 5,000 people in a confined space. So they took it seriously. They sequestered us. So can you imagine, first of all, being on deployment for 7 months, going away from your family? That's hard, right?
Right.
Can you imagine being 3 miles away from your family and can't see them? You're on base, sequestered.
Torture. They're right there.
And you're about to go on a 7-month deployment. So that was a course of 10 months, 11 months. It was something
tough. Really
if you
tough.
See a sailor, Army, Marine, thank them for their service, because COVID was not the year.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad you made it and you lived to talk about it, because we truly are living through history, to say the least. This has been so good. And I thank you so much for just being transparent and open and sharing your story, because again, I think there's just so much out there that we don't know. You're the first military person that I've spoken to, and this is eye-opening for me. I'm learning so much, and definitely gonna add some links and some resources below for anyone who wants to learn more. Any final words for us before we depart? Anything you'd like to share?
Oh my God, I feel like I've bared my whole soul.
Well, I appreciate it. And I'm sure whoever watches this will too. So,
man, I don't know what to say other than, Black folks doing extraordinary things, right? Like, let's be extraordinary. Let's not be regular. Whether you're in the military, in corporate America, let's be extraordinary. And again, thank you for this series, because it is awesome. Yeah, that's all I think.
Awesome. Thank you again. Well, thank you all for joining me again for another episode of Black Folks Doing Extraordinary Things. I have some incredible Black people lined up for the series for the summer. I'm going to be making more videos on a more regular basis, so keep an eye out. I'll add some information below if you'd like to learn more about the military, and I will also add some of those pictures too that you mentioned, because I think it'll be good for people to see the visuals of the journey. So I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope to see you back here again. Thanks.